Levi's Stadium down in the luxury field level club. 49ers just completed their practice, voluntary OTA. Kyle Shanahan just spoke. Got some players and stuff are talking right now to the media. But I had to dip out of there to do this and then hit the road because I'm headed down to Carmel tonight. But I wanted to give you some reactions. Wrote down, got like 8 things I want to get to here in a few minutes. And if you're listening on the podcast, there'll be some more Brandon Ayuk stuff there as well. Obviously, Brandon Ayuk not here today. I see a couple of people say can't hear very well. Unfortunately, I can't hear this audio very well. I don't have another way to check it. Actually, I could check it here, but it would take a minute. So if you can't hear, then this is just a test that I'm going to have to delete later. But somebody else give me a comment if they're able to hear. Okay, somebody said audio is fine. Great. All right, moving on. So a few things. Obviously, no Ayuk today. No Juwan Jennings. No Jacob Cowing out there. No McCaffrey, voluntary, and the emphasis on voluntary. But I just want to run through a few things. All right. So number one, this is probably not number one on everybody's list, but it's the first thing I've got here. Really stood out was how the 2 rookie running backs looked. Isaac Guerendo and Cody Schrader. Isaac Guerendo got several opportunities in the team period to catch the football, and he did it in a few different ways. And I thought it looked good. I mean, had one kind of slight bobble as he turned upfield without a defender on him, and then that defender arrived. But listening to what Kyle Shanahan said afterwards too, he views him as a do-it-all guy. The way he's going to have to first and foremost get on the field is by being a running back. But I thought he looked good today, and I thought Schrader, even in some of the drills, didn't see him really in team. But both those guys look crisp, look explosive. I think the one thing that stands out when you look at this rookie class, I'm not going to say across the board, but just generally speaking, they look like they have pro-ready bodies. Like they're like Mason Pline is a guy, the tight end, the undrafted tight end, who showed up, and he's listed at 6'7", 260. I don't know if he's 6'7". I got to go back and look. That's what you've got him on this roster. I feel like some of the other official measurements pre-draft were not 6'7", but regardless, Eric Saubert, who is a veteran tight end at 6'5", 248, he's a little more cut, right? Pline's not quite as cut. He's a rookie. He's only been a football player back again after college basketball for 2 years. But what really surprised me about Pline is how big he was in the upper body, and then also, not surprising because I'd seen it on film, how fluid he was. He didn't really get the ball in any of the team stuff, but you could just see the way he moved. Some of the special teams drills, I thought it was very fluid. Ricky Pearsall's at the top of the list, right, of guys that I wanted to see, guys that you probably want to hear about. And I'll walk you through some of what Ricky did today. Pearsall in punt return, just individual, they're punting the ball to him. He caught everything. He was doing it. Danny Gray was doing it. Ronnie Bell was doing it. Juszczyk does a little of it. But Ricky Pearsall looked really good with that. So that's no surprise. That's something he's comfortable with, something you want to see him do. But that's going to be a critical part of, if he is that 4th or 5th receiver on this team, him being able to comfortably punt return. He tracked the ball well. He didn't have any of those last second, got a jerk back to make a play. Give Danny Gray credit. He did catch a ball, but also he had to kind of wobbly to get to it. So got a lot of reps, right? Without Ayuk here, without Jennings here, without Cowing here. A lot of reps for Ricky Pearsall. Second or third in line. Deebo is here. Like, that's one thing I'll talk about that really stands out when you come out to voluntary OTAs. And I've been to several of these for several years now. And you go, oh, Deebo's here? Bosa's here? Like, that's unusual, right? Bosa, his rookie year. This is today. What is this, May 21st? 5-year anniversary of the day in his rookie year that Nick Bosa hurt his hamstring 5 years ago today. Whatever today is, the 19th or the 21st. I always look at my phone, but I'm using my phone to stream. So 5 years ago on this day, hamstring injury for Bosa. So that kind of hurt his preseason there. He eventually signed a contract in July. year 2, and Kyle Shanahan talked about this today. Year 2 was the COVID year for Bosa. Year 3 was coming off the ACL. Last year, year 4, the contract. So this is the best day on this day of his career, most eventless day for Nick Bosa. It was just interesting to go out there and see Bosa and Deebo. Deebo's out there wearing number 1. Back to Pearsall, and then I'll get to Deebo. Had a good sideline ball from Purdy that Rock Sin came and broke up. It was a tough play. It was going to be a tough. It was good coverage, so give Rock Sin credit. You see the depth of the 49ers DBs out there today. Ricky Pearsall made a nice catch. He was coming across the middle. The ball's behind him, so he had to kind of do the thing as he's running to slide down and catch the ball. And I thought it was just it was a nice little ad lib. It was a guy who had good feel for the field, good feel for his body, made that play. And then I thought his highlight catch probably in team, kind of a 20-yard comeback, was able to get Ambry Thomas was on him. He had a few times where he lined up with Lenore, and I thought, oh, this will be like, I want to see this, and just nothing materialized. But he had Ambry on him, 20-yard comeback, sheds Ambry, right, creates like 5 yards of separation, comes back, and he's just the thing you notice with Pearsall in the drills. With the quarterbacks, where it's just quarterbacks throwing with no DBs, or the team drills, he's really strong to the ball with his hands. He's smooth, he's comfortable, he's under control, he knows where he's supposed to be, and that's the way I would describe him. Like, he's strong to the ball with his hands, and that showed up in in just the running routes on air, and it showed up in some of the team stuff. Now, he was strong to the ball, and Rock Sin came in and broke it up. So give Rock Sin credit there. One thing I was watching, it was Danny Gray, like his wide open window where he's just going to get every opportunity. That window has obviously passed for him now with these other rookie receivers in there. But with guys gone, it's an opportunity for him to step up and maybe pull himself back into the race. So I was kind of open to that. He's tough, he's aggressive, made a couple nice catches, had a chance to really make a highlight play. He had an opportunity. There's no pad, so there's no hitting, but he had a chance to make a real highlight play over the middle today on a ball that was a little up, right? The kind of ball that Ayuk goes and gets, the kind of ball that Jennings goes and gets cut in half and still brings it down. And he didn't make the play. He had a chance to make that play today, and Danny did not make that play. So something that I think will be on the list as I come back next week for the open practice next week with Garendo will be, does he continue to catch the ball, look comfortable? Schrader, does he continue to catch the ball, look comfortable? A day that made me feel good about my Deebo Samuel stock, right? I said I guess I've loaded up on some stock because everyone seems to be down on it. Everybody's talking about him like this is it. This is his last year on the team. And maybe it is. I mean, the contract sets up that way, but I just wouldn't assume that. Deebo's out there wearing number 1. Kyle Shanahan joked afterwards that it's a risky number because if you're not in good shape, you can really look like you've ballooned when you put on the number 1, and that it's risky. And Kyle said he thought Deebo looks like he's in good shape. For me, Deebo just looks so strong. He's so crisp. Don't let the internet find out that he jogs on routes in practice sometimes. But he practiced good today. That doesn't mean sprint everywhere, but he was crisp in his routes. He caught the football. When he catches that kind of crosser, as soon as the ball hits his hands, he is hitting 60 miles an hour, and he just looked like a seasoned veteran. I know how to get in shape before I show up. I'm not using this time to get up to speed. The ball hits his hand. Even if he's not running at full speed, it's crisp. I thought Deebo looked good today, guys. Like, we'll see as this preseason plays out. I'm not gonna. I think the Super Bowl and him not being 100% and all that stuff fed into this. And you watch every Deebo route, like everyone's breaking down every Deebo route. I don't know, he jogged on this one, and I think it's overblown. I think it's silly. I think he operated I think he operated like a pro in practice today. Him just being here, that's not always been the case with him and Bosa. And so I think so much of what he does is about getting himself to the moment where the ball hits his hands, and then it's about capitalizing on whatever speed he was going at, because he can go 0 to 60 faster than that guy trailing him. And yeah, man, I just thought he looked professional, clean, crisp, the whole thing. I thought he looked good. We'll see, but didn't practice like a guy mad at his team for, or maybe he did. I don't know. He practiced good. He didn't practice like a guy with his head in the wrong place after people talked about he might get traded, or there were reports that they were taking calls, all that stuff. So Deebo looked like he was in a good place to me. That's the best way to put it. I thought he had a good day of practice. Um, Brock, crisp, strong, drama free, nothing else going on. No quarterback competitions. No, they got another quarterback in here wearing 5, but obviously it's not Trey, it's Josh Dobbs. Um, at one point, ad libbed, did the thing like you remember he did in Jacksonville with Ayuk, where he points one way and then throws the other way. He did that with Trent Taylor. He points after he breaks out of the pocket, everybody shifts down to the left, and then he turns back and throws it across his body over the outstretched hand of the DB right into Trent Taylor's hand, and he takes it off for a touchdown. Very, in a much wider space, kind of like the play in Jacksonville. So just ad-libbed, under control. If you've watched me going back to last camp or even further, you know that I've just been on this kick, and I hate to beat a dead horse. The Niners don't hit deep balls. They didn't have Ayuk. But they don't hit deep balls. They don't get open on them, and they don't win the 50-50 balls when the quarterback throws it anyway. So today, Ronnie Bell, double coverage, Brock takes a deep shot. Ball's not close to Ronnie. Ronnie's blanketed even if it is. Yeah, they don't hit it. He threw another one as well. It's into double. It's just they don't. Maybe it'll change. Maybe we'll get to a different part of the maybe all the receivers will get here and we'll see. Okay, they hit that now, but I don't see why they would. I mean, that's not really going to be Ricky Pearsall's thing. We'll see Jacob Cowing's speed. Is he going to create space? It'll be interesting to see. Like, I'm open-minded to it. It can change, but it wasn't a thing before, not a thing again. One other thing I wanted to highlight, Renardo Green. Renardo Green, the rookie, ended up late in practice on Deebo Samuel over the middle. That classic kind of Deebo coming back to the ball. And Deebo catches a lot of balls that way, right? Where he's deep down the middle of the field, then he's coming back to the ball. He catches it. He kind of dips under the defender and is able to curl out and make a play. And Renardo Green was right on Deebo, did a really good job of being on top of Deebo without interfering, and then got his hand in just as the ball arrived, which is tough because Deebo's got strong hands in that spot. The ball was not too high. Like, it was a good spot for Deebo to catch it, and Renardo Green got in there and broke it up. One of the referees threw a flag. Even if they hadn't picked it up, I would have said that wasn't a flag. But they did pick it up. They picked up the flag. It was not pass interference on Renardo Green, the rookie out of Florida State. It was just a great play. Whether they pick up the flag or not was just a great play. So those were, I think that was eight bullet points there. I wanted to hit with a couple other things for you guys. But yeah, little minutia things. Pline is really interesting. Pline is very interesting because I'll be interested to see once the pads are on and you can hit him. He looks like he's got the weight that will hold up. Does it translate to game strength? But he moves well. I think one of the positions when you watch anybody at any level, when you watch tight ends up close in person, I think it's one of the positions that's very different than just watching them maybe in a game. When you watch tight ends repeatedly run routes, you can really tell who's stiff and who moves fluidly. And Pline moves athletically. He really does. So, and like I said, I just want to reemphasize, he was one of the guys you see him and you go, okay, wow, like he's built. Like he'll probably add some definition as his career goes on, but he looks NFL ready. Like he belongs on the field. I'm just looking at my Leonard. You do notice like Leonard Floyd, Yatir Gross-Matos. One thing historically, even going back to the Harbaugh years, the Niners have always had like physicality on the D line, and those guys just you lose Eric Arms, you lose DeForest Buckner. He was such a big part of the size they had on the D line. Then you lose Armstead. He was just big, like height big. Yatir Gross-Matos just big. Leonard Floyd not as big, but just got a little like big time pro swag to him. just standing around running drills with the defensive line. Devondre Campbell is a big dude. I didn't love the signing, but just a big dude. Safety will be an interesting thing to watch in the coming weeks, and yeah, I think that was a lot of the stuff I wanted to hit. Those were the notes I had for you guys today. So that's that. I'm off. If you're listening to the podcast, coming up, a conversation I had about Brandon Ayuk and what I think the move is there, but not a lot of panic today without having Ayuk. But it was interesting just to see Bosa and to see Deebo out there. So all right, that's that for this. We got to figure out how to end this stream now. I think I just hit that X. All right. Thanks for hanging, everybody. Hit that like button from Levi Stadium, the BNY Mellon Club here. I went out to the field. They're redoing. It stinks. That's the other thing. It doesn't come through the camera. Be thankful. It smells here. They've got some. Now, I don't mind the smell. I spent a lot of time in the country, but the field stinks right now. The grass is up. And they're doing their thing out there. So I guess they're getting ready for. I don't know what's next out here. Probably some of the. They got a couple soccer games coming up. Wrexham and Chelsea. I've never been. I consider. I saw the thing. Wrexham versus Chelsea. I might come to that. Probably not, but I might. Okay, everybody. Thanks for hanging. I'm out, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.